Welcome to the show. everyone. Welcome to the Council of Future Conflict. My name is Scott. I'm the proprietor of the Future Conflict channel. Today we're talking. It's episode 639. We're talking Iran War Day 7. Watcher, if you have a chance during the show, can you redo the thumbnail and put Iran War Day 7, and then also there's that bot. Anyway, there's some things on the thumbnail that we need to tighten up. You got it, I think. But as long as we're doing Iran War only content, let's keep it Iran War, for consistency's sake. I'm such a fucking picky asshole. I apologize.
I think that instead of Major Tom in the corner, we should have the lead singer for A Flash of Seagulls in the corner.
And Iran, a Flock of Seagulls version of Major Tom could probably easily be created in garage.
Oh yeah, that probably would not be hard to do.
It is a new world. It is a new day. A lot of stuff going on, guys. We're talking. So let me just kind of give you a rundown on like the Iran stuff we're talking about today. So we're going to start off with the economics of war because there's a lot of the economic third, fourth, and long-term downstream effects are coming out. I hope Jim could make it today, but I haven't heard anything from him yet. So. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. And then we also got some Navy stuff, some big Navy news to talk about. And then we got inside Iran. That's like all the stuff that's happening to Iran inside. That's not the Navy, and some of the pressure they're getting from the outside. And then we got Lebanon is a kind of a subtopic of the Iran war because basically. Everybody just realized now that Iran is, on the run, they don't have to fear their proxies anymore. And so Lebanon has completely done a 180. Joe, we were talking about this before the show. It's kind of like, wow, they could have just started seizing Hezbollah weapons all along and kicking them out. And they
almost like you can just do things. Hezbollah doesn't want you to know this, but you can just seize their stuff.
That's exactly right. It's like they only have power if you let them. Shocking. So anyway, we're going to be talking about that. We got some odds and ends as well. Texas election stuff, body cam footage, all kinds of good stuff. So
I do want to acknowledge, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but the biggest tragedy so far of the Iran war, is that the Bashir has been taken off the board, but not in the way in which I wanted it to be taken off the board.
I know. I get the feeling that they knew that we were hunting for them, Joe.
I think that they're in fear of me and you and Watcher, and we're like, those guys want us dead, so we should just surrender.
Yeah, we should, because they'll get the first Mike Lee letter of marque and come after us on a speedboat.
Got to find that carrier that's been making such a fuss. Sorry, I was going to rewrite the whole song. Now we're stuck.
All right, Joe, how you doing, brother?
I'm well and good. I had a surprise visit from a dirty roofer this week. So he's here hanging out with me and Josh, who's here for a class I'm going to be running over the weekend. And we actually got a lot of stuff done, a lot of projects done around the camp in the last couple of days. Some electrical work, some work on the fireplace. And we even made Alan, the founder of the charity, we actually made Alan pretty happy. Had a good time hanging out with him yesterday. So lots of good stuff happening. So
very cool. Was it Josh that gave you those patches?
No, these patches came from Josh Clark.
Oh, Josh Clark. Can you hold those up?
So here's the first one.
Yeah. So these are purity seals, like Warhammer 40K style purity seals, and we're thinking that it would be very cool to make a future conflict version of that. And here, flip it around so they can see. It's got Velcro on the back, so it's like you could affix it to your plate carrier or whatever, like it's a purity seal on the set of armor. So
they're very cool. Here's a whole set
I even just thought of what we could put on the gold stuff.
You got to find out who made those. If we could get the people who made them to work with us on this, that'd be cool.
I kind of wanted, like, for the writing on the scroll part, I kind of want to take chatters, like, people who've been here for a long time, and
right, and put them on the
Leighton Gay or whatever.
That would be very cool. All right. Fuck it, we all ball. All right. Watcher, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Look at that. See, there you go. Yeah, the war tourists are ready to go on another tour of another Middle Eastern country there. I think these are Kurds, but you never know. It could be anybody.
Why do all photojournalists look gay?
I don't think that's a photojournalist. I think that's just like a random,
The guy with the two large cameras and the selfie stick?
No, I think he's probably
I am a journalist vest.
Well, I think he's probably like one of their PAOs.
Oh, okay. Well, fair.
The sad thing is that the Iraqi army and the Kurds and all those people learned to do the whole,
well, you're supposed to learn to do. You're supposed to learn to do the whole like actual be an army thing first, so that you have something to point the camera at.
You just have to look cool, right? All you have to do is look cool, pose for pictures, and the Chechens figured it out real quick. All you got to do is shoot at enemies that aren't there, make it look like you're fighting really hard.
Whoa!
And then Earl Kirby for $20, the best nation on earth. Nice.
Donation. Scott's mispronunciation trend continues. Speaking of, I didn't see him in the chat yet, but I want to thank Just Me for the donation to Camp Ponderosa, as well as buying books on the same day. So
look at that.
Good stuff. Your books are on the way.
Very cool. All right.
Well, at least there's that.
Well, I don't know. I may have cropped the image. Who knows?
No. His phone was set up for horizontal. The guy on the image.
The guy on the picture. Yeah. That's exactly correct. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is he's already ahead of so many people out there. Nick Shirley, take some lessons. All right. I found something funny for us to watch today that is topical. Have you guys seen all these kind of baby comedy and all this kind of stuff? These baby AI videos. I mean, they were out.
We exist in the United States in the year of our Lord 2026. So.
Yeah, I was going to say they were really big kind of into last year, but they seem to have fallen off. And so for whatever reason, I've seen a shit ton of them the last couple of days, but this one actually tickled me because I think they're doing a good job with the storytelling in it. Who knew what we needed was baby Ahmadinejad, or not baby Ahmadinejad, but the baby Ayatollah and baby Trump. And
okay, you are clear to move.
Baby terrorists. He's got a sippy cup.
Hello. This is President Trump speaking.
Trump?
Yes.
It's me, Khamenei.
Ali. My favorite dictator. How are we doing today? Still alive, I see. Barely, from what I'm hearing. Very weak pulse on your whole operation over there.
Trump, you dog.
You American pig.
Death to America. Death to America. Death to America.
Yeah. Death to America. You've been saying that since disco was popular, Ali. And America's still here, bigger, better, stronger than ever before. Meanwhile, your country looks like a screensaver from 1997. Very outdated. Nobody's impressed.
You think you are funny? I have your senator, Kennedy. He is my prisoner. He is here in my bunker, eating cold rice, and he will not be returned. I will make sure of that.
Ali, let's talk about that. because I've been very patient, and I'm not a patient person. Everybody knows that. But you took my guy, Senator John Kennedy, a great man, tremendous man from Louisiana. They make incredible food down there, by the way. And you've
Man, the voice models have got better.
We're not gonna see the punchline.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know there was a punchline. It's 14 minutes long, so I didn't know if we'd get there.
Oh, I didn't think it was that long.
got him eating cold rice. That's a war crime, Ali. Not the kidnapping the rice. Serve the man some gumbo. Show some class.
He is an enemy of Islamic Republic.
Let's
He
see
will
what John
stay
Kennedy
here
sounds like, and
forever
then we'll cut
unless
it.
you meet my demands.
Your demands? Okay, let's hear him. This should be very entertaining.
Well, I demand you lift all sanctions. I demand $1 trillion. And I demand you say on live television that Iran is better than America.
Ali, I wouldn't say Iran is better than America if you put a gun to my head, which, by the way, you've tried multiple times, and you missed every single time. Every time your assassins couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. Meanwhile,
It
I
does
only
sound
need
just
to
like
try
Trump,
once.
doesn't it? It's almost
Once.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't miss. Very important distinction, probably the most important distinction in this whole conversation.
You dare threaten me? I have the Revolutionary Guard. I have missiles.
You have missiles that land in your own backyard, Ali. I've seen the footage. The whole world's seen the footage. One of your rockets did a U-turn last month. A U-turn, like it changed its mind. Even your weapons don't want to work for you. Very telling.
Haha, I want you to speak to your senator. See how scared he is. See how powerful Iran is. That poor little fisherman.
Mr. President, that you,
Don, how you doing, buddy? You okay?
well, sir, I've been better. They've got me tied to a folding chair in what I believe is a storage closet. There's a calendar on the wall from 2006 and a poster of Khomeini that looks like it was printed on a home computer. I'll be honest, I've seen nicer setups at a Louisiana DMV.
All right, let's cut it there. Anyway, I guess I saw the shorter version. I didn't grab the longer version, so my bad. War crime. Yeah, see, these are much better in shorter doses. That's for sure. All right.
I want to point out though that there's a little Easter egg in there. The person whose photo was on the wall behind him is a man who has been missing in Iran since the early 90s. What's the name of that guy?
He's a former FBI agent, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I recognized him too when I saw it.
Robert something or other. Anyway, if I could think of his name, it would be great, but I can't. But
Wow.
I think it's cool that they threw that in the back, right?
Me
That's
too.
probably the only thing that saved that video from me from making me want to.
See, Westby's with you. Joe looks totally impressed.
Well, at least the next bit's a good bit of news.
Oh my God, this is, I hate to say it, but this is the best piece of news I got all day.
Well, with the last couple days, it's not hard, but
It's true. This is from Brandon Herrera, aka the AK guy. I appreciate Tony Gonzalez for making the appropriate decision. I look forward to being the voice of Texas 23 that our district deserves, from the border to the oil theft, water rights, data centers, and many other issues. It's an honor to be chosen, and together we will make Texas proud. So, what? Well, Tony Gonzalez was defeated in the election, but Brandon did not get 50% of the vote, so it forced Tony and Brandon to go to a runoff. As soon as the GOP sees that Tony Gonzalez is weak, they absolutely turned on him. And it was literally the day after the election. All these Republicans started coming out and A, endorsing Brandon, and B, basically feeding Tony Gonzalez to the fucking dogs, which is where he should have been all along.
Let's be honest, that's a big change, though.
Yeah,
Tony's been here before, and the last time the party backed him 100%, no questions asked.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And so, anyway, if you don't know, Tony Gonzalez basically dated his assistant or aide or intern or something like that, and it was a high pressure kind of thing. And and she was married, I guess, and they had an affair, and then she felt regretful about the whole thing, or Tony ghosted her. I don't remember which way it went, but ultimately she committed suicide by fucking, turning herself into a portable torch. So yeah, it was pretty fucking disgusting. And evidently there are other people that he's done similar types of things to. So this is good news. Brandon will win this race. I am absolutely confident of that. This is that same district where the Uvalde shooting happened. He's been, really. Yes, I'm not going to be happy until Brandon gets a rule that the AK-50 is manufactured and given to every red-blooded American. I'm with you there. A store, the Abyss Walker, for $10 says, looking forward to today's show. I unfortunately have been dealing with either my super progressive friend or the Jews did it friend. So I appreciate the palate cleanser with good informed takes. We appreciate that. We are not pro-Israeli. We are pro-countries acting in their own interest, and this is absolutely in Israel's own interest.
Let me point something out here. I did a tweet yesterday. It showed the Tim Sheehy thing where the left was all screeching that Tim Sheehy attacks a former Marine in Congress. Well, the guy was already fighting with the cops, and Tim just jumped in to help. And all that I said was this, I said Tim Sheehy attacked by Tim Sheehy. Shut up, right? Because that's not true. And the Jews did it people literally came for me. Oh my God, who am I following? You support Israel. I'm like, my wording in this tweet has zero at all to do with Israel or the guy's protests, just that the news is lying about Tim Sheehy being attacked. But if you don't automatically support anyone who hates Israel, they think you love Israel. Listen, man, Iran's been killing Americans for decades. We can hate Iran and not like what the Israeli government does. It's okay. It's called intellectual honesty.
Yeah. So if, no matter what the Jews did, no matter what Israel did, no matter what anybody did, this is a war that's been coming, and it's well-deserved. This is the only nation outside of the continental or the Western hemisphere that I think we have any business putting our boot on their neck. In all fairness, I don't think either me or Joe or Watcher, I don't want to speak for you either. I don't think any of us want to see a ground invasion or troops U.S. troops occupying Iran. I think the best thing is to ultimately, the way we win here is by weakening the regime to the point where they can be overthrown. And then we just kind of step back, pick some moderate people to run the country and support them, and that's the best we can do. All right. Thanks. Thank you guys for that. Anything else on Tony Gonzalez or
good riddance to bad rubbish?
I also, one of the other kind of Texas political things was, so evidently it came out that there was going to be a trade, like Trump endorses Cornyn after it goes to a runoff with him and Paxton. And Cornyn will then allow the SAVE Act to go forward and support the filibuster. And so I guess that was potentially a deal that was made between White House insiders and the Cornyn camp or the Senate Republicans. But then all hell broke loose on X yesterday. That was very unpopular. Everybody in the kind of the America First / MAGA / GOP on X seemed to be supporting Ken Paxton, and nobody supported Cornyn. And I guess Trump, he's a busy guy. He can't be on X and be, monitoring everything. So this gets back to him, and he's like, "Wait a second, why have I been told that Cornyn's one of our guys? What's going on here?" And so evidently the fact that Trump potentially would be endorsing Cornyn was not necessarily true or decided at that point, and somebody got ahead of their skis, and now we're looking. It's up in the air whether or not Donald Trump will be supporting Ken Paxton or Corden. So to be continued on that, but that was at least a hopeful, because I was really pissed off when I heard that the White House might endorse Cornyn. It's kind of like John Thune, right? This motherfucker is literally like holding everything up inside the Senate. All right, moving on.
Well, sort of moving on. Still Texas.
Well, still Texas, yeah. So, Watcher, I guess you don't have the.
Oh, you want the video?
There's two, yeah. Well, so let's do the body cam footage, because that's a follow up on the previous story where we talked about the shooting in Austin. So this is police body cam footage. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Give me a second. We need audio. There we go.
Joe, if you're not sharing the video, Joe, if you've got any thoughts on this, just tell them to pause and.
Where is it? Over there. He's on 6th Street. Where is it? Where is it? Who shot? Shots fired. The suspect is down.
He's the guy shooting from that range. That's better than average pistol shooting.
I'm on the suspect. Move here now. I'm on the 6th and west.
That was more gunshots.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right there to your thing, it's an AR-15. AR-15
Down! Everybody down! Down! Where is he?
Where? Right there.
Front 2 or 3 shots fired, 1 down. 6 and west side. Black man, light sweater, light camo.
So, the first guy's AR is obviously clean and working well because it was cycling perfectly. But I don't know why he transitioned to a pistol. Here, these guys did a good job. Quick move to cover, right? Drew back to cover. I don't know where his wingman went, the guy with the rifle went, but I don't know. It looks pretty solid. I mean, I want to point out that the AR, while it had an optic, appeared to be a very, very basic model. No sling. Yeah. That barrel was not. It was like a cheap version. It appeared.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
So once again, a bad guy with a gun put down by a good guy with a gun. Shocking how that works. It's almost like we should have more of that. This next one is a post from I think this is a fan of this is a favorite of the chat. It's a favorite of mine. I don't own a Watch and Watch, but if I were going on a crusade, I would wear a Watch and Watch. So this is a post by them, and this just kind of goes hand in glove with what the problem that we saw there in Austin. There are reportedly over 300 mosques and around 500,000 Muslims in Texas. They're here. Their numbers are growing every day. You might think this is America, and so what you've watched happen in Europe can never happen here, right? Wrong. It's already happened in Minneapolis. It's happening in Texas. In Michigan, we know it's happened. No, we are not as far along, but the groundwork has been laid. Sitting back and hoping things don't work is not a solution. They will get worse, and then much worse. It's time to recognize Islam for what it is: a power-hungry death cult. It's a vehicle for dominant subjugation and tyranny. Living in a free nation is one of the greatest strengths, but it also is a weakness. A weakness they are taking advantage of. Now is the time to wake up and say no more. We don't have to compel beliefs. We don't have to make it illegal to be a Muslim. But what we do have to recognize that many of the things Islam specifically supports and condones are illegal in our nation. And therefore, the individuals and institutions within Islam who spread these things are participating in organized crime. It's time to crack down. It's time to rescue our state and our nation. Our children and future generations are counting on us. God bless Texas. God bless the United States of America. I co-sign this, and I think it's very well done. It calls Islamists, like ism or whatever, for what it is, the power-hungry death cult. But then it goes on to say, hey, listen, we don't have to compel beliefs. We don't have to make it illegal to be a Muslim, but we just have to recognize the fact that people who espouse these ideas of Islam specifically are antithetical to everything we are as Americans. And we have to enforce that. We have to enforce what it means to be American. And when they go high and right off of that path, we have to correct them. Or we have to, remigrate them back to wherever it is they came from. This is a touchy subject, Joe, because it's one I feel pretty strongly about. But at the same time, I also believe in the Constitution, freedom of religion, freedom of individual expression, things like this. So it's kind of like you have to balance the freedoms of the individual, but then listen, the Constitution is not a suicide pact. We can't let these people who want to destroy us just do whatever the fuck they want.
At the time the Constitution was written, there was absolutely zero risk of Islamic immigration into the United States, and we have to consider that. And Islam as a whole is not compatible with the United States Constitution or freedom.
If you want to know how the founders would have responded to this type of action, just look no further than the Barbary pirates and the
correct, yeah,
and exactly how we treated the Muslims, who basically said that it's not only is it not illegal for us to make slaves of your ship crews, but it's our job within Islam to do this. And when that happened, that's where you got the halls of was it the shores of Tripoli, right? In the Marine Corps song. So we should kind of go back to the founding ideas on this, Joe.
Yeah, and whatever, Karen, I agree with you. Sharia law was on the ballot yesterday, and it's absolutely stupid that it ever had to be on the law, on the ballot, because it violates the U.S. Constitution and it violates the Texas state constitution. So there was really no sense to even have the vote. Having the vote at all is a win for Islam.
Well, at least we did see we didn't see some sort of 60-40 split. It was a 95 to 4% split on that one, at least. So.
I bet it was split directly upon the number of Muslims and the number of non-Muslims.
I guarantee they turned out every fucker with a man dress showed up at the ballot box to pull the lever.
Oh, oops, wrong one. I have a little bit of breaking news, but I think I accidentally just lost it. Oh, there it is.
All right.
Speaking of Muslims and stupid things, breaking: Saudi Arabia abandons plan for the Line, a planned 170-kilometer long megacity.
I thought that they already did that. I thought that they transitioned to the other idea.
Well, now they're converting that to an AI data center.
Oh, okay. Well, at least that's economic activity versus some sort of Orwellian planned community.
Fucking awful.
Oh, they're not saying they're not going to build an Orwellian planned community. It's just not going to be that one.
For the AI,
they're going to build a data center first. I almost, guys, should we show we were watching it before the show started and it just popped up on my screen again. Do you think we should show the drag race before we we move on to the next part of the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think so. That would make up for that awful AI baby thing that I showed.
a clear demonstration of American superiority. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'm sharing it here in the private chat, Watcher, just so you've got it.
Okay. I just found a new feature, by the way, so switching should be a little more smooth.
Okay.
Hold on. Before we show it real quick. By the way, as we're talking about state elections, the idea of the state of Florida having its own intelligence agency is something you should oppose. I know a lot of you think Ron DeSantis could do no wrong, but listen, state level intelligence agencies will be turned on you. Stop it.
Now, Joe, it is Florida, so has anybody checked to make sure that when they said it was an intelligence agency, it wasn't just like some tutors trying to make Florida kids smarter? No?
Right. Try to prevent Florida man from doing all the Florida man does. Anyway.
If their target is Florida man, then maybe it's not a bad idea. This is a drag race, a NATO drag race. M1 in first, French AMX-10 with the six-wheeled vehicle.
Yeah, let's point this out too. The French AMX-10, you shouldn't even be in this race because that's not a tank. That is it's a recon vehicle.
It's a wheeled vehicle that should be faster than the M1, but yet the M1, a 70-ton tank. And by the way, this is the SEP V3, so this is the heaviest version of the M1. Just fucking trounces it.
But guess what, chat? That was not the end of the race by a long shot.
Next up is a French recovery vehicle. And bringing up the rear is the the best tank in NATO supposedly or in the world, the Challenger,
rolling coal,
rolling coal, if you will. Which definitely gives me I give it a second place for style points. What say you, old Hong Kong?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Just saw your little missive and figured I'd come have a chat.
I think it's great because the first thing up today that we'll be talking about after our insane profit segment here in a minute will be the economics of war. So there's a lot of interesting things have been dropping when people started running the numbers after all this.
Yeah, it's true. But I'll tell you, waking up to a tank race in the morning is a lot to be said for that.
Stimulating.
I'm here for it. Let me just tell you, I used to be back in the 90s. I was an M1 tanker in the Kentucky National Guard, and when you're going 30 miles an hour down a gravel road on top of a fucking M1, like because I was the loader, so I was like, let me tell you, it seems a lot faster than 30 miles an hour when you're doing it in an M1. It's kind of like going fast in a boat. Always seems way faster. Oh, I thought we were going 90. No. We were going like 30, or 25.
Yeah, I can say that the inverse is also true because if you've ever been on a motorcycle, you go, wait, am I really doing 100?
Yeah, it's like the bigger the thing is, you're.
Yeah.
Right. What I like about armor guys is that when you look at them around their armor, you know that all they're hearing is dun 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 dun. It's like they can't not.
So here's the thing. Like when I was an armor guy, I kind of like dug the whole. I was like, in my mind, I thought I was like General Patton, right? But when I found out that all of the actual armor guys in active duty, they either do the General Patton thing or they think they're fucking Custard, like and they're not gonna lose this time.
You have a choice between wearing a cowboy hat and a scarf or a chrome helmet and pearl-handled revolvers.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, and both sides get special strappy boots. So that's the.
I can totally see you rocking the pearl-handled holsters.
Hey, brother, I'm here for it.
Before we get too far from it, I want to acknowledge this $5 here. He says, when you say Florida Intelligence Agency, I picture that scene from Idiocracy where he has to put the shape toy blocks in the proper hole.
Well, here's the thing.
Everyone likes to make fun of that comment and everything, but I'm actually dead serious. It is something you should be against.
Oh, 150%. We just generally are against things by making fun of them.
Yeah. I think while we should mock it, we should also not think that they aren't being totally serious, because they are.
No, I agree. Well, I will say that Ron DeSantis has proven that mocking him in particular is a very effective strategy. Somebody bring up his boots again.
It is very, and what I like is that Ron DeSantis thinks he has a chance of coming in and into the next election. I get the feeling it's going to be like literally they're gonna have the debate. It'll be Rubio, the vice president, and they just maybe double team.
Maybe no. So I think it's going to be a packed field, but I think there's no room for Ron. Anyhow,
I don't think so either. Wait, does Scott have tinker boots in his closet? I think I got rid of them actually.
I said no. He has them on his feet.
He sleeps in them.
I mean, the problem is they're not comfortable, right? I'm just saying. And let me just say that the tankers now, they actually have the split the desert tanker boots, and they don't look good. They looked great when they were black, and they were polished, but the desert tanker boots do not look good.
Look, y'all don't know how good you have it now in the modern military, because we had to polish our boots every single night.
Oh, dude, that was absolutely the best thing that ever happened was getting rid of the polished boots. Now, granted, I generally wore jungle boots, so I only had to polish the tip, but even that was
just the tip, as the kids say.
And at least we didn't link that to a Djibouti joke. So, are we going into Djibouti?
Speaking of Djibouti jokes, I had lunch with Jim and Hunch and Josh the other day at the A bar, where they have a Djibouti sink in the bathroom. But,
very good. Lance Corporal Veteran says for $2, the Lane City, I'll bet, was a money fund scam. Yeah, so I think that's one of those kind of we need to make jobs, or kind of we need to make economic activities type thing. So it was basically something for them to sink their money into.
Yeah, I think if there's ever a country that needed to run a money scam, it's not Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, they've got plenty of money. The problem is that sometimes they don't know what to do with it.
Well, sometimes they don't like giving it to other people, and that becomes an issue in Saudi Arabia.
Well, if one sheik has a lot of money and the other sheik wants him to give money, then sometimes they have to have a fictional project in the middle. Jim, the thing that shocked the hell out of me is they actually built that clock tower in Mecca.
Mecca and Medina. So the province of Medina is very, very well run. That's one of the best run provinces in Saudi Arabia now, because it has to take the Hajj. So it needs infrastructure and capabilities, and it takes responsibility for all those people coming and going during the Hajj. So it's a hard one.
Here's what's crazy, and this is a little bit of with the Kabbalah, right? That's the kind of meteor thing or whatever in the center of
the black box.
Black box, right? Kabbalah. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm just looking for a picture of it. Of course. Oh my God, what is all this? Kabbalah, Islam. Oh, Jesus Christ. How do you spell the damn thing?
The Kabbalah?
Yeah. Is it Kalaba?
Maybe an H in there.
Okay. All right. So anyway, let me just show you. This is a tale of two pictures, right? Here's the first picture, right? This is the one everybody has seen before. All right. So check this out. This is the one everybody's seen before. It's like, that's the Muslims. They're doing their pilgrim thing, right? Well, and it seems like a very modest city. It's a religious town, blah blah blah, all that kind of whatnot, right? But here's the thing that this was probably one of the most shocking things that I've ever seen. When you actually see, all the pictures of the Kabbalah are from this angle. What you don't get to see is the other angle. And let me show you what's on the other side. All right, here we go.
Do you know what's inside there?
I don't know what's inside.
Literally a rock. It's
right.
A meteorite.
This is the other side. So if you look down here at the bottom, there's that same box, right?
Yeah.
And look at this fucking like massive like tourist complex. Essentially, this is the they basically it's a upsized version of like Big Ben. Because of course they can't make anything original. They have to take things that we make and then make them bigger.
It's to allow the call to prayer.
I mean, so that way what time what time is it?
Yeah, you can't pointing out a pronunciation issue because you're saying something about a Jewish festival and you mean Kaaba.
Thank you.
A_ABA or A whatever.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go off of memory, right? Things that are not super important to me, I have imperfect memory of. So anyway, I thought that was funny. It just kind of came to me when we were just talking about that. Talking about the stupid projects that the Saudis dump their money into. All right. Moving on. I think we have one more odds and end, right? Oh, yes. So this is a video of
living inside a status quo.
Hey, push pause real quick. This is a video about the what do they call it? The Southcom just launched America's Counter Cartel Coalition, or A3C. It should be AC3, I think, but the military leaders from the Caribbean, Central America, and South America joining forces. So this is directly related to, I think, Paraguay announcing a SOFA agreement with the United States, and the United States taking action in Ecuador. I think we're going to see a lot more of that type of operation go on. Joe, it's almost like World War III is a series of small, disconnected regional wars.
Crazy. Just like we pointed out. Hey, I want to commend the Army CID agents in this photo. Good job, boys. Anyway,
let's just watch the video. It's 41 seconds, so not too long.
We get used to kind of living inside a status quo, or we get used to a new normal sometimes. I think that's happened to a lot of these countries. It happens inside our countries. Well, these gangs are just too powerful, or the drugs are just everywhere. And our job is to change that paradigm. President Trump's trying to do that in our own country and then help other countries in this AOR recognize that no, with the right political will and the right authorities and some new partnerships and some new capabilities, we're taking the fight to these guys. Never once, if we're active other places, is our gaze turned away from Southcom and Northcom in the Western Hemisphere, which is the president's priority.
I think a couple of things there that I think are worth drawing on is the focus on the Western Hemisphere. Despite in the middle of a war with Iran, we still take the time to kind of focus on what is really long-term important, and that's the Western Hemisphere. So I think it shows we can kind of walk and chew gum at the same time, which is, it's a good thing. You should be able to do that. But this is just kind of proof of it. So that's the key. The first thing. The other thing is that this is not just us going in and kicking in doors, right, and shitting all over the local governments. The idea is to partner with these countries so that they do the heavy lifting, and we're just there to support, which is a model I very much agree with. Guys, what do you think?
I think it's a grand idea. It seems to be working out. I think Venezuela is going to go really well. I think what we're doing in the Middle East has opened some eyes that we put that off way too long. So,
well, it's one of those kind of things when you have superpower power, you gotta actually use it sometimes if you want people to treat you like a superpower.
Yeah, the difficulty in Iran is it affects all of Asia, right? nobody's prepared for this. Nobody in Southeast Asia has sufficient reserves. Nobody has refining capacity. So a lot of people are in a lot of hurt. And I thought it was interesting that all the natural gas, the LNG ships that were headed to Europe have all turned around and are headed to Asia. People have upbid, upbid the offers for the. So I think the Europeans are probably going to be picking the phone up and calling Trump and saying, "Hey, we need some LNG out of the U.S." But the fact that we don't use our own resources in our own hemisphere is pretty absurd when you think about it. So the fact that we were allowing Venezuela to fuel China and Russia, we were allowing Iran to fuel China and Russia, it makes no sense in the big picture. So he shifted in one fell swoop the whole economic model around energy, which is probably the most critical, right? And the U.S. is producing an immense amount, and to our north we have the Canadians sitting on a large volume, and they can't get out of their own way. So you understand why you have to put pressure on people to actually execute. If they want to be partners with you, they have to execute for the total good of the region. And Canadians sat on their hands. Venezuelans were at least producing oil, less and less each year, because organized crime doesn't like investing in hard assets, right? So they were riding production down. They should have been improving production. But now you're going to see that the U.S. is going to go in and production is going to skyrocket because they'll refurb the fields.
Well, on that note, you saw I thought this was interesting on the gold front, where the United States or the White House inked a deal for the purchase and processing of 1,000 kilograms of gold from Venezuela that'll be exported as 98% bars for further refinement in the United States. So I thought that was a really interesting deal. I'm curious where that will end up at.
Well, what's interesting about that is there's a lot of what, we used to joke about artisanal mining. There's a lot of artisanal gold mining going on in Brazil. And in parts of Venezuela and Colombia that have access to it. So there's a lot of what would be considered uncontrolled gold floating around down there. And the Chinese are very aggressively involved in that market because remember who laundered money for all the narcotraficantes? How did they do it? A lot of it was going into mining and precious metals. So I can see how the government there was sitting on a bunch of unrefined or partially refined gold. And it makes sense to get it out of circulation. So I'm going to guess there was some sense of seizure in that, but there was also some sense of how do we give hard currency to the government in Venezuela that we need to stay stable, regardless of who they are on a personality basis. They needed cash, my guess. And this is a way to give them a quick bolus of cash.
Jim, I'm starting to get the idea based on your commentary that China might not have our best interests in mind.
It's funny. It's funny, Joe. There has been a common thread there, brother. That's the Marine walks into the bar and says, "Oh my God, there are people here. What are they doing?" Yeah, there's a joke.
I got
it. It's a big one. It's a big one, and I think what's been done is strategically brilliant. And so I think if you take the combination of Bessent and some of the people on the National Security Council, they've done an extremely good job. And people worldwide are agog, right? They're all freaking out and they're angry. What they're really angry about is the Trump team has done something that they never would have thought of, nor had the audacity to execute. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, there's a hell of from this point forward, there's going to be a shitload of work, right? We got to reintegrate Venezuela. We got to reintegrate Iran. It's really hard to do, guys. That post-conflict stuff is almost as hard as war.
Well, Joe, it's one of the things that you mentioned quite a bit is the whole, like China knows about war because they've got this Sun Tzu guy. Well, finally, you've got an administration for the United States that's actually read Sun Tzu. You don't strike them where they are strong. You strike them where they are weak, right? And this is exactly what the Trump administration has done with this this move against Venezuela, against Iran, and soon I think you'll see a move. Partially also in Panama with the Supreme Court ruling, and then I think you might see some interesting stuff develop in Cuba as well.
And Cuba's my second shoe, right? Iran was shoe one, Cuba's shoe two. It's going down. There is no reason to not clear out these parasitical countries. Clear them out.
And here's the other thing too. You don't, Cuba is in our direct interest to resolve because of how close they are to the United States. But there are a lot of countries out there that are essentially, they're not creditor nations to China. They are debtor nations to China. And those countries, it's in our benefit to allow them to continue to associate freely with China, because ultimately China puts more money into them than they extract out.
But you also see some of the strategic nonsense that was going on. The British and the Chagos Islands and Diego Garcia and Mauritius and the Chinese very close to Mauritius, and Mauritius being an Islamic country very close to this. I mean, at a certain point, you just can't let this bullshit continue. And I think that's what happened is the Trump guys looked at it and said, hey, look, let's just change the flow of everything. The flow assumptions are around China and Russia and the economics of supply chains, untenable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have ghost fleets moving shit around the planet and everybody knows who they are, who was tolerating that and why were they tolerating it? So that basically ended with Trump. He said, look, we're not going to tolerate it anymore. And you got to respect that. But boy, it hurt some people, right? The folks who were making bank off this in various offshore locations are pretty pissed off right now.
Yeah.
But to see the urgency, an Iranian LPG tanker just squirted the Hormuz, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just one. And everybody was like, oh, look, it was protected. Well, I think the Iranians are somewhat limited on what they can do in the Hormuz at this point. If we wanted to be moving vessels out of there, we would. The difficulty we have is we know where the vessels are going. And we don't want the Chinese to get off easy on this one. Everybody claimed they had 180 days worth of Paul ready to go. They don't.
Right.
They got 60, 70 days of Paul. They've got no distillates. They're short on diesel. And the game in China was bring in this cheap oil, convert it all to diesel and gasoline, and then re-export it as Chinese product, right? Not Iranian, not Russian. So they've been making the arbitrage on this stuff.
Right.
But in making the arbitrage, they've made they've sent a lot of product offshore, right? So they haven't built it up at home the way everybody thought they did, right? It's like, oh, they're buying it, they're going to put it in their reserves. No, they're going to buy it, they're going to sell it for cash, right?
Let me push pause on you there, Jim, because that's kind of like one of the big kind of pieces that I want to talk to you about with the economics. So let's go ahead and talk tactical-wisdom.com. Oh, no, yeah. So we're done with odds and ends. Tactical-wisdom.com. Joe, what do you got going on?
This weekend we've got some defensive firearms classes going on. And then we've got classes actually scheduled just about every weekend up through May and June. And I've had some people ask me about the May and June schedule since NC Scout will be out here and all that. I'm waiting on some input from Kay. So Kay, if you're watching, I need some dates from you so that I can finish out my schedule. But we're doing the basic pistol classes this weekend. There's some land navigation next weekend. Fieldcraft, lots of classes coming up. There's been a lot more interest in training as folks see the world start to fall apart around them. So maybe it's a good time to get into a fieldcraft class or a good time to get into a community security ops class and learn a few things. And in June, we're going to have NC Scout out here for RTO and SIGINT course. SIGINT's a great class to get out there and learn on. Especially when you have Iranian number stations out here broadcasting cryptic messages.
That's right.
And that's actually an important thing because that message came out and then we immediately had a shooting in Texas. So Draw your own conclusions as to what might have been in that message. But it's good to know who's talking around you, and that's a great course for that. Kay will be here this summer too, teaching CQB and fundamentals of patrolling. So we're going to have a lot of fun skills being taught here. And let's not forget that July 24th to the 26th, we're going to be running Mountain Readiness West right here. There's going to be lots of great vendors coming out here, lots of great speakers. It's going to be 10 times better than any of the other 2 years we've had. There will be lots going on at the place, and every day we add someone new to the lineup. So make your reservations, get out here, take a summer vacation to Montana, and come out here and learn a little bit about the Swan Valley, and you'll fall in love with the place. It's great. So come check it out.
Yeah, I couldn't echo that strongly enough. That is such a beautiful place, especially in the summer when all the trees are green and the weather's nice. So
July's the one month when we don't have snow. So come on up here.
All right. Tactical-wisdom.com got some great stuff going on. And by the way, if you hadn't got the message already, buy Joe's books.
Yeah, buy a book over there.
It's almost like when the world is falling apart, Joe, maybe people should read a little bit about how they should prepare for it. Even on the home
go
front.
up every time people start to freak out about the world. It's funny.
All right. Let's talk about some brush speeder here real quick. All right. In the midst of relentless overseas war, the United States and Israeli strikes pounding Iran into the second week. The Supreme Leader Khamenei confirmed dead, retaliatory missiles raining down, but trickling off, and the conflict drawing in the Gulf states and beyond. The home front remains under pressure. Meanwhile, the cartel violence in Mexico rages on after the killing of El Mencho sparked widespread retaliation, burning vehicles, blockades, chaos across dozens of states. Instability threatening to spill northwards across the southern border through migration surges, armed flows, and opportunistic threats. When global chaos disrupts communication and darkness hides dangers, whether from foreign fallout or cartel spillover, stay aware and connected is your edge. Brush Speeder Store helps you with both. The Redtel RT950 Pro, a high-performance handheld radio with built-in spectrum analyzer to scan and monitor frequencies like an early warning radar, multi-band coverage, CB, ham, aviation, and more. GPS for position sharing and powerful transmissions to keep your family group or neighborhood linked when cell networks fail or go dark amidst disruption. Pair that with the Kyber Optics, premium tactical optics crafted by disabled American of Iraq and Afghanistan, built with high-quality Japanese glass, ultra-rugged design, no questions, lifetime warranty, from fast LPVOs to precision scopes to red dots and night vision. They cut through the low light chaos so you can spot threats early, identify risk clearly, and respond decisively, day or night, home or border adjacent. Get the RT950 Pro and build your net at brushbeater.store/collections/handheld-radio-HT. Get Kyber Optics for visual edge at the brushbeater.store/collection/Kyber-optics. Use code CFC10 for 5% off all radios, accessories, optics, courses, you name it. Orders over $100 shipped for free. Big things to Matt at Brush Speeder Store for powering the Council on Future Conflict as the Iran war escalates and cartel threats loom closer. Head to brushbeater.store, enter code CFC10, and build the aware, connected security presence your community needs. Now back to the show. All right, Jim, I was so glad you came in when you did, because we're talking the economy and the economics. This is not like how much does it cost for us to do this, though. There are a lot of things to talk about there as well, especially as we start to run low on some of these very expensive munitions we're using. But when you shut down the Straits of Hormuz, when you depress all this LNG and crude and refined products, it has a major impact on the economy. What's WTI at right now? Let's see. It was up, what, 87 yesterday, is what I thought I saw.
Yeah, it's going to be really volatile.
I've heard it's up to $100 in China. Let's see. WTI is at 89.5. Brent crude is at 91, and Murban crude is at 100.7.
I mean, I'll point out that WTI doesn't go through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, but
that's why it's expensive.
Because you can actually get it.
you can get it to Houston and turn it into good things. Yeah. So yeah, it's a proximity issue and preparedness issue. There are a lot of people who weren't prepared. Just in time energy is a bad idea, right? We've learned that with solar and wind. So oil and petroleum products, if you're not using coal, you got to have something you can stack in a big container and keep for later. So people are short. People are going to be paying what they need to pay because you can't go without power because that makes the government look bad. So,
well, one of the things that before this war even started, people were learning the lesson that we don't have enough power generation. That we're literally going to run out of power generation. They're talking about it doesn't matter if you buy AI chips, by the end of the year, you're not going to be able to power them. So it's kind of like you're just stacking up chips that you can't power in the United States. And I know that was one of the things they talked about at the White House the other day. So combine that with all of a sudden the fuel for all of the power starts to go away and you start having big problems. I think, honestly, Jim, I think this will push people to alternative sources of energy. Nuclear being the one that a lot of people are kind of starting to lean into, but I think all of the above will continue to be big.
One of the things this shows is just the idiocy of the way we've allowed the energy markets to develop, right? It was absolute idiocy to not have U.S. oil production. It was absolute idiocy to spend $1 trillion on green solutions that never scaled, right? So this was all done consciously. And so there are a lot of people out there who had a really twisted perspective on what the energy economy should look like. What it comes down to is oil and gas makes sense. Natural gas is great. And if you look at the places that are going to get most hurt, it's the ones that haven't made a change in their infrastructure in a long time. So people like New England in the U.S., they won't allow natural gas in, and so they take coastal tankers, right, Jones Act tankers full of gas to come up and give them natural gas in places like Boston. And you had New York trying to get rid of natural gas stoves, right? So
yeah.
The attack was a misplaced green attack on a very, very clean, very, very safe fuel, which is natural gas. The price of diesel, it's absurd that diesel is as expensive as it is, but it was called dirty and ugly and this and that. And so they tacked extra 50 cents on every gallon. That kind of idiocy just needs to go away. And I think Trump's in a position to do it. I love natural gas. I wish my whole house was heated by it, but I pay electrical rates. I don't pay California electrical rates. I was talking to a guy the other day. He's got solar panels on his roof. When he put them on his house, the grid operator had to pay him, right? Because he was put more into the grid, and he said that lasted maybe 11 months, and they changed the law and said that we won't pay you for the power that you put into our grid, because they found out that a lot of their ratepayers were having to be paid, right?
Yeah.
And then they complained they don't have any power, right? So this is a conjured scheme that has been unwound here. And I'm pleased, right? So we had all this black market oil running around the world. There isn't going to be any more black market oil. There's going to be oil from Venezuela that the U.S. has its hand on.
Yeah.
And there's going to be oil from Iran that OPEC has its hand on. And I think it's going to go very well for the world. We just have to clean up. We got to clean up Iran, and that's no small job.
All right, let me hit this story here. On Friday, Qatar's energy minister told the Financial Times that Gulf conflict could trigger a global economic shock, warning that continued fighting will force all Gulf energy exporters to halt output and could send Brent crude prices north of $150 a barrel. This is a quote from him. Everybody who has not called for force majeure will do so in the next few days. If this continues, all exporters in the Gulf region will have to call force majeure. Cabe also explained if they don't, they are at some point going to pay the liability for that legally, and that's their choice. Qatar is the world's second largest producer of LNG and was forced to declare force majeure earlier this week after IRGC drone strikes hit their largest plant. This will bring down the economies of the world, he warned. If this war continues for a few weeks, the GDP growth around the world will be impacted. Everybody's energy prices is going to go higher, and there will be shortages of some products, and there will be a chain reaction of the factories that cannot supply. We don't yet know the extent of the damage as it is currently being addressed. It's not yet clear on how long the repairs will take. I think that you've heard some people who are literally saying, like, everything was fine. Why the fuck did Trump mess all this up? These are Gulf players who are saying this. I wonder how leveraged they are, and I wonder how much their loans were tied directly to production output from various places that either A, have been hit by missiles now and are shut down for the next 3 to 6 months, or B, it's product that can't be moved because their nation declares force majeure and basically shuts down the ability to recoup any of the outlays on this. It wouldn't surprise me at all, Jim, that these people who are carping about this are losing their shirts financially over this.
Well, absolutely. So people got really tight on these projects. They're back to backing all this stuff. So yeah, there are going to be some people who lose, but there are also going to be some people who win. I mean, if you own an LNG tanker afloat, you've got a full tanker. You're talking, an extra $60-100 million on your cargo, right? Because the country calls you up and says, I'll take a cargo at any price. And you're like, whoa, yeah. I'm going to turn my ship that was headed to Rotterdam. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to send it out to Southeast Asia or Japan or Korea or whoever has the need, right?
Yep.
And what this does, though, is it really obviates how stupid the United States and Canada and Europe have been for the last 30 years, right? We should be able to produce this stuff and export it from the West Coast of the United States.
It should be mail.
Oh, looks like we lost Scott there for a second.
It's a lieutenant colonel that'll be working as an LNO from.
That's all right. We'll mute him and come back to him here in a second. I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment.
So yeah, so just on the oil thing, there's a lot of shifting going on. A lot of people are going to lose their shirts. A lot of government officials who have been fudging their ability to survive a energy shortage problem. Let's see how the resilience works. A good example would be Singapore. Singapore ran into a jet fuel constraint. And what it comes into is you've got to plan all of the distillates when you don't have access to refining capacity. And you can't go to a refinery and say, hey, I need a couple of truckloads of jet fuel. You got to retool to produce different products, and different organizations are more attuned to those products. So you got to plan, right? And people don't like having large tanks of anything sitting around anymore, especially in the age of drones. We've seen that across the Middle East. Age of drones. What's that big round thing down there? I don't know. Let's go blow a hole in it.
Well, and it's hilarious that people were discussing how we're going to have to set these LNG transfer platforms very far offshore, because if one of them ever does explode, it's going to go off like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, well, LNG is dangerous, but it's no more dangerous than a lot of other things. We saw the fertilizer explosion in Beirut. Things can go boom, and again, it's responsibility in handling, right? You got to be smart about it. I love LNG. I laugh about New England and the U.S. every day when I get complaints about 30-cent kilowatt hour electricity. I'm like, you voted for it. You closed all your nuclear power plants. Same with Germany. They're pissing and moaning about base load. They shut all their nukes down. They closed all their coal plants. and they did it emotionally instead of strategically. They didn't think, right? But somebody paid these agitators over the last 30 years to force this to happen. So just remember that. Don't let the idiots drive the conversation.
And unfortunately, they always do.
Yeah, especially when I'm on the show, right?
Well, no, no, that's one of the few times it's not that going that way these days. Joe, are you there? Oh man, it might just be you and me.
He's taking a bio break. Yeah, so I got into a very nice conversation last night with a retired merchant mariner.
Oh, there we go.
I just had a great conversation last night with a merchant mariner about this over cocktails. And the guy was probably early 70s, and he'd seen a few things in his career as a U.S.-based merchant mariner. And we talked about the reserve fleets and the first Gulf War, when they had to spin up a bunch of these steamships and nobody knew how to run the boilers. And he was laughing. He's like, "Oh my God, I remember that. Yeah, I remember all the old guys getting called back to get the ships back on so they could send them to the Middle East." So, strategic planning is important. And one of the things that I'm seeing happen in Washington with the Department of War and the other ancillary entities around Department of Energy and so on and so forth, transportation, is they're taking this role seriously for the first time in 30 years. So we're going to see some changes to how the U.S. government prepares itself and runs itself. And I think you're going to see U.S. flagged vessels that we haven't seen in a long time. And God forbid, we might even build a few, which is quite astounding, quite a shift for the U.S. And we're going to work with the Koreans on building American ships. I think that's a wonderful idea. So you'll see a lot of change if this pattern out of the Trump White House continues, because it is a bold and grand strategy that touches pretty much every piece of industry. And I hope that the Senate is smart enough to support it. They don't appear to be, but I'm hoping the senators wake up to this and begin to support the Trump White House.
Oh. All right. Well,
so what happened to Scott? Did the MPs show up, or was that?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'm trying to hail him on other channels to see if we're getting him back or not.
I'm gonna guess a couple of guys in a helicopter showed up and said, "Sir, you have to come with us.
Your country needs you."
Yeah. Funny. So just to extend the conversation around oil and gas, it's something that's going to be with us for the next 12 months. It's going to be a hot item. Watching people go into these countries like Iran and Venezuela and spending billions of dollars upgrading. Part of that is going to be giving them the ability to do it and then contracting the ability to do it. So it's a reconstitution and a redevelopment post-conflict in both places. I mean, the Venezuelan oil fields have been declining in production because they wouldn't spend money on maintenance or improvement. That'll get turned around real quick. Iran, great place, good people, very hopeful about the outcome there. But between here and that point, you're going to have the Kurds and the Azeris and other groups backed by Israel and the United States and a few other places. My guess is the Gulf Arabs have a play in the southeast and the southwest. We're going to need a lot of people on the ground there to help the Persian people figure it out again and keep them from being killed, because the Basij are just going nuts, supposedly. So Iran's a long game, but boy, they got a lot of oil and gas. And again, without the Chinese to exploit it, they're going to need outside help exploiting their own oil again.
Yeah, and I think that Iran knows this, and that's why you saw attacks launched on a pipeline in Georgia in an attempt to draw others into this.
Exactly, Joe. Exactly. It's get as many people agitated as possible, create as much confusion as possible, because they know they're going down. And they just want pain to be spread across the region for that purpose. And that's sad to see, but it just means that, you got a couple of other things. Everybody gets assigned a job, go fix that pipeline. You guys do this, you guys do that, and then provide the adequate transportation and security for them. So I'm hoping somebody in the background's doing that.
In the security field there.
Yeah. Is somebody do that? So I think there's 24 months in Iran after this is over, easy of cleanup, and it's got to be handled with kid gloves. You want them to maintain friendly relations with us. You don't want to go in too strong armed. I think breaking the approach that we took in Iraq was important. You're going to have to work with the locals. You don't have to work with the radical locals. You don't have to work with the 12ers, but you're going to have to work with guys who've worked in the government in Iran. And like all totalitarian countries, they're not all bad, but you got to be careful. So I think the shoot down of the 3 F-15s is beginning to look like a conscious act. And that was a Kuwaiti pilot. So there are a lot of things that we have to be careful of in the Middle East. And it's going to be a hell of a lot of work, but hopefully the United States comes out successful in its strategy, and hopefully the Persian people work it out and find a leader that can run the country.
Facts. Although who that's going to be at this point is kind of beyond me. I like Reza, but I hear a lot of things back and forth, and it's just a very contentious thing. And I mean, how do you even, in a collapsed government, how do you even try and form a consensus? You know what I mean? It's
but you drive consensus, and you tie it to the money, right? And this is where the Obama play was so damn stupid. You do not send cash pallets to people like the guys in Hum, the mullahs. That's just that makes, there's zero strategic sense to that. You can't begin to make me explain it, right? But you can say we're going to help you get this underway. We're going to help you get that underway. And by watching what we're doing with the Venezuelan oil, we're selling the Venezuelan oil, and everybody's like, oh, America took the Venezuelan oil. No, we're selling it. We're selling it in the legitimate markets as a dollar-denominated asset, and we're giving the money to the Venezuelans. But it's not an uncontrolled situation. It isn't commingling with drug money. It isn't commingling with Chinese organized crime, money laundering, right?
Right.
So we've taken a lot of our opposition out of the picture by handling it that way. It's going to be the same in Iran. They're going to sell their oil. They're just not going to be taking the cash that should be going into the domestic infrastructure and government and sideswipe it into Switzerland or Dubai. You saw yesterday, Dubai seized, what was it, 300, 500 billion in Iranian assets. The guys who've been raping Iran for the last 60 years are going to lose everything they've gained. They're done. So we're going to start over. I think you're going to see a fairly egalitarian situation in Iran in the future, which I think most Persians would vote for. That's how it flies.
No, I think that all you're going to see is chaos out of this, and I think it's going to just increase instability rather than promote instability or promote stability. We might lose some of the Iranian proxies that are operating all over, but you're also going to see a million other independent movements pop up, because as Iran falls apart, you're going to see Kurdistan, Baluchistan, all these different things suddenly want to open and make things much more complex in the region.
Certainly is, but that's part of the deal. Somebody's got to be standing with those folks saying, this is how the game's played, and you got to make it worthwhile for them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it doesn't need to happen. I'm just saying we need to do it with our eyes open. And understand what that happens, because creating a greater Kurdistan does give a buffer to some of the more moderate neighbors, but it also opens up a whole new can of worms, because then every independence group in the world is like, but what about me? But what about me? But what about me?
So, yep. And you're seeing that with the Baluchis, but and the Baluchis are in a war with Pakistan, right? So there's a lot of motion going on. I think ultimately Iran will hold the center, but I think they may lose some pieces of their edges to some of their surrounding tribal buddies. You got the Arabs in the southwest. You've got the Baluchis in the southeast. I think you'll see them probably do a little bit of a grab. It only makes sense, Can't get something for nothing. But the faster we move, the better. So I think if the Iranians had any sensibility left in Tehran and in Qom, I think that they would see that the faster they allow this to occur, the less loss they will have. The more they fight, the more chaotic their country is going to be, and the more damage will be done to the center part of Iran. At some point, the army needs to step up and begin to secure things, and I haven't seen any of that yet. Maybe they've been emasculated totally by the IRGC. It's a possibility.
Definitely possible.
Yep.
All right. Well, I am gonna just move on with the show, gents. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Fire it up.
Let's do it.
Oh, hold on. This one. Breaking. If the Wall Street Journal sources hold, the UAE just became the most consequential actor in the war. Not the U.S., not Iran, not Israel, the UAE. Here's why. This is the tweet of the day. Sure it is, bud. Dubai has been Iran's financial oxygen for 40 years, not metaphorically, literally, through every round of American sanctions, every UN resolution, every OFAC designation, every European bank exit from Iranian correspondent relationships. Dubai remained the one global financial center where Iranian money could move, convert, and access global trade. The shadow network operating through Dubai's currency exchange, free zone shell companies, and gold trading houses is not a marginal phenomenon. It's Iran's primary mechanism for converting oil revenue into usable foreign currency, for paying for weapon components, for funding proxy operations from Hezbollah to the Houthis, to every other instrument of Iranian regional power. The U.S. Treasury has spent 20 years trying to close it and has never fully succeeded because closing it requires UAE cooperation that the UAE, for its own sovereign economic reasons, consistently declined to provide. The UAE is now, according to the Wall Street Journal, considering providing it. Understand what has changed. The UAE's entire strategic calculus for 40 years was based on a deliberate ambiguity. Dubai would not be a sanction enforcer. It would be a neutral financial hub, a free port for global capital, regardless of political origin. And in return, it would receive the economic dynamism that comes with being the only place money can go. That ambiguity was worth hundreds of billions of dollars in financial revenue, real estate investments, and trade flow. It was also worth significantly less, significant leverage over Tehran, which Dubai needed and therefore could not completely antagonize it. Iran fired 1,072 drones at the UAE in 6 days. Iranian missiles struck Dubai's international air corridor. Iranian ordnance forced the closure of 70% of regional flights. Iranian attacks on a bypass threatened the one infrastructure node that allows the UAE oil to reach markets without transiting the Hormuz. Iran did not merely attack a military ally of the United States, it attacked the economic infrastructure of the country that has been its financial lifeblood. If the UAE freezes those assets, it's not a sanction, it is severance. It is the moment when the country that kept Iran financially connected to the global economy for 4 decades decided that the relationship had a price and that Iran had paid it. Every Iranian proxy operation, every weapon procurement, every foreign currency mechanism that runs through Dubai collapses simultaneously, not because of American pressure, but because Iran made it politically impossible for Dubai to continue providing the service.
Exactly. That's what happened yesterday.
Oh, did it actually? So this went down. They actually.
Yeah, they seized the asset.
Huh. Well, that's
what I was talking about. It is huge because without it, Iran can't operate. And all the personal money of all the people in the IRGC and the Quds Force and everybody, it's all in Dubai and Switzerland. And the only reason it's in Switzerland is it's passed through from Dubai. So imagine I don't even remember the number. It was 300 to 500 billion, as I recall. Supposedly all seized. Which is a game changer, right? Because that's their money. So my guess is they're losing their shit right about now. And their wives are calling up and saying the credit cards don't work.
Well, speaking of other people who appear to be losing their shit, breaking. Oh, oops, sorry. Play this one. There we go. Breaking. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar are discussing withdrawing from contracts with the United States. They want to cancel future investment commitments in the U.S. to alleviate the economic strain imposed on them by the Iran war.
I mean,
Well,
I don't think I would know, and that I would put too much faith in that until you hear that they've actually broken contracts. What do you think, Jim?
what newspaper was that in, or where was that report?
Let me check that again.
Financial Times.
Financial Times.
Oh yeah, FT has become almost criminally biased.
Yeah.
So what's happened? What I think's happened is in the London financial papers, they're just bitter. They're angry at Trump, and anytime that they can find some way to pile on the negatives in what's been done in the last couple months, they do it. And this sounds like exactly that. So I'm going to bet the Saudis are saying, hey, we're going to be, we want to slow it down a little bit because we're going to need available cash because we can't sell oil. And the Trump team will nod vigorously and say, we understand as long as the long-term commitments are there. And this is the kind of thing that London does. They spin up these muckraking stories and start saying that, it's the Chicken Little effect. But it's Trump derangement syndrome combined with the Chicken Little effect.
Oh, all right. We've also apparently, I'm glad we've got you for this, because apparently China is facing an energy crisis.
Oh, no. Not that.
You don't say. After losing Venezuelan and Iranian oil imports, China imports 70% of its oil supply, and they lost about 2 million barrels per day from those two sources.
Yeah, and pretty much everything you hear about them being prepared is bullshit. And overnight, they stopped all exports of all distillates, and they've asked everybody not to use all distillates. So diesel and gasoline et al. Curtailed. And like the party state that China is, they will roll back in. And if you're in the party, you'll be able to get gas. And if you are a state-owned enterprise, you'll be able to get gas and diesel. And if you're not, shit out of luck, should have bought an electric car. It's gonna be really hard for them. And the sad thing is places like Vietnam, Cambodia, the Philippines, Indonesia rely on a lot of what I would call quick order fuel from China. So everybody decided that the just-in-time delivery network was good for everything, right? Yeah, just-in-time energy is not a good idea because you have single points of failure, and everybody loves diesel. I mean, everybody's got to have seen the diesel generator with the Tesla plugged into it. I mean, you can't make shit up.
It's true. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but China now joins a group of other nations that are all, shall we say, curtailing civilian distillate use. I believe India, Pakistan, a bunch of them jumped on that. All Southeast Asia is going to be hurting for oil, it sounds like.
What it shows is this is a really interesting influence map of who is tied into China for their day-to-day energy needs, right? And overnight you will see it, and it is the part of the global economy that the Trump team want to put on warning, which is, new sheriff in town on the energy front. We're no longer going to let you play games and violate, the OFAC rules. We're not going to let you violate the UN rules. We're not going to pretend we don't see it. So the transfers at sea of oil that Joe was familiar with that went on around Africa and the seizure of tankers, that stuff's all done. Won't be allowed anymore. And I'm down with it.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, next, Mario Nafal. Ugh. I know. The U.S. just let Russia sell oil to India to keep the global economy alive. In a stunning reversal, the Treasury Department issued a 30-day license to allow Russian crude oil to flow to India while the Strait of Hormuz remains closed by Iran's blockade. The Treasury Secretary Bessent framed it as a temporary measure covering oil already stranded at sea. The license.
It's smart. That's smart. Which is, you don't want to hurt India. India's an ally. Not a perfect ally because they like their autonomy, but you got to keep the lights on in India. Last thing you want is destabilization of the largest democracy. I think it's a good move.
Yes.
I want to point something else out too, that this is not actually that unusual. If you follow the Treasury Department's OFAC, Office of Financial Asset Control, we issue licenses for Russian oil like once a week for someone to buy it somewhere. So it's just news today because of the Strait of Hormuz closure. This is actually not anything new. It's been happening all along.
Yes, Jim, I certainly would not want anything bad to happen to India. I definitely am not looking at ways to fund a more Attack Elephants charity or anything.
You wouldn't wish diarrheal disease on the planet. I know. It's okay. Modi's in a tough place, and so you sometimes have to give Modi things that you don't necessarily want to give Modi. Yeah. And given that Pakistan is all agitated, you really have to pour some calm on the region, especially with people who are your erstwhile friends. So.
Now, hold on just a second. I got to make sure that I've got the right link here because I think I grabbed the wrong one.
Well, hold on. I want to add another comment here based on something that was in the chat that applies to this thing about China and oil. We're talking about vehicle ownership in China and that they were switching to electric and all that. Listen, gasoline and oil in China is not for civilian use, literally at all. Less than 10% of the Chinese population own vehicles anyway. They take public transportation or other means. So when China says they need oil, it's almost exclusively for military use.
Well, I'm gonna have to pause all of us because I didn't see this. There's a $20 over on Rumble. Thank you so much, Big Gin 599 for $20 says it's been a while since my last donation, so have a Happy Meal on me. Appreciate you, Boston. That is about what a Happy Meal costs these days.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, has anybody had the big arch?
I have not.
I saw that Mike Shelby had one and he was not impressed. So I have not done that yet. Guess what, Jim? I live in Montana and driving to McDonald's takes an hour. So I've not had a McDonald's sandwich.
Well, you just stop alongside the road and pull the haunch off a roadkill. You're good.
Around here, I'd have to fight an eagle or a lion for it. So
they're tasty too.
All right. Well, looks like next up we have a short video presentation from Admiral Brad Cooper.
Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire. Our strike.
Is that the Brashad? I thought they let the Brashad get away.
They're not going to let anyone get away. I'm blown away by the aggression in this, and it's the change in the tenor of the Department of War under Hegseth. Everybody said he'd be a terrible leader. He appears to be a pretty damn good leader.
Well, I can't help but notice, Jim, that we seem to be fighting wars a lot more decisively now that the Secretary of War is no longer a Raytheon board member.
Well, you watch the Mark 48 explode under the tail of that converted Corvette thing off of Sri Lanka, and it reminds you how effective this stuff is.
Facts.
Yeah, and it's like, why screw around? Well, and so the first thing is they come out and say, well, it was unarmed. Well, my ass, it was unarmed, right? It was unarmed because that was the rule. It was unarmed in the gathering in India. It's like, I'm sorry, you've got a vessel that is moving in the direction of Diego Garcia, right? So it's like the Belgrano. It's the Belgrano all over again. So if you pretend that it's not a problem, and then 31 hours later it arrives in the forbidden zone north of Diego, you got some explaining to do, right?
Yeah.
And so what do? It's a ship of war. You sink it. It's what you do, right? And people were shrill about this.
Yeah, people pretending that sinking a warship is an act.
It's a crime.
Is a war crime.
Oh my God!
What planet are you people from?
I just think it's really cool that the submariners are actually going to get their combat badge back. Hasn't been issued in a long time. So,
I think
the guys on that boat are going to get combat badges, which is a really cool little submarine thing.
I think my favorite comment to come out of this whole thing had to have been Hard Pass first asking, please, dear God, don't let this be the submarine my brother-in-law is assigned to, or else Thanksgiving is going to be absolutely insufferable.
Yeah, he'll be sitting at the table going, "It's about me. It's all about me." Exactly.
We got another one here. Entire 208-man crew of the Iranian auxiliary ship Bushir has surrendered to Sri Lankan authorities after consultations with government officials and diplomats. Yeah, smart move.
Yeah. So the Iranians get their Graf Spee moment, right? They go in, make friends with the locals. Well, I'm sure the Sri Lankans are pleased. They could probably get some oil off it. So, if I was the Sri Lankans, I would be pulling all of the fuel off of that sucker that it still had. Put it in the local market.
Boy, that is not a big ship.
No, it's not.
They should stop calling that an auxiliary ship, by the way. It is not an auxiliary ship. It is an intelligence vessel.
Is it? I thought it was an unrep. I thought it was a oiler.
The Bashir? No, negative. They claim to be an oiler. They are not.
Dual use.
All right. Well, we got another video here. So U.S. Central Command has just published footage showing several strikes earlier today against the IRS Shahid Bagheera, a converted container ship turned drone carrier operated by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is currently on fire and sinking in the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Bandar Abbas.
This is the second drone carrier we've sunk, and we've told them that we told them don't try to leave Bandar Abbas. They did. There you go.
Things are looking good.
Yeah, I was gonna say ship's on fire. That's a nice thing to wake up to this morning.
I haven't heard anything out of Greenpeace recently. You guys?
Yeah. you know who else is awfully silent lately is the whale wars guys. You know.
Well, anything that has to do with the French, the Greenpeace and whale war people tend to stay away.
Right?
Yeah. A JRH says, how do you fit 208 people on that, Bashir? Easy. There's a very large intelligence washroom in the bottom of the ship. So a lot of people in there. They don't think about crew comfort in Navy ships. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, that's a distant afterthought. Let's see. Holy crap. President Trump reveals Iranian regime's leaders are calling him begging for a deal. Let's let the man say it himself, I suppose.
And before we begin, I think I will say a few words about what's going on with respect to our operation in the country of Iran. The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Launches are gone. About 60% and 64% respectively. Other than that, they're doing quite well. I said, what's left? But they're tough and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. We've had 47 years, depending on the way you count it, but 47 years of horror with this group. And, when you see somebody walking down the street without their legs, without the arms, whose face is so badly affected and hurt, it mostly came from 95% Soleimani and Iran. And we, other presidents, lived with it. I didn't live with it. And so our people are doing a great job.
Yeah, you gotta love the just casual nature of describing this, because this is pretty broad reaching.
It's if true, it's a very interesting window into a world the rest of us don't generally get to see. But part of me wonders how true it is. I'm sure some people have called, right? But
yeah, the question is, are they the right people? You're getting a fragmentation of leadership. Anytime you have a decapitation strike, you end up with fragmented leaders, and you got to choose the right ones to listen to, or you got to kill a whole nother layer, right? And I'm still hopeful that the colonels are going to pop up. Two bright-eyed, bushy-tailed regular Army colonels who will take over the country on behalf of the next government, right? And that's hard to find. You end up with the guys with the cool camo in Burkina Faso, and that's not so cool. We hope that doesn't happen here in Iran. I think the Iranians are better than that, so we'll see what happens.
Let's see. So the next one is on how they killed Khomeini. A years-long deception operation ended with missiles launched from the edge of space. The setup: Iran's general publicly left headquarters Friday for Shabbat, posed for photographs going home, then snuck back in disguise. Why? They needed Iran to think Israel was shutting down for the weekend. Khomeini felt safe enough to emerge from hiding for a meeting at his palace. Then came Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Iran time. Israeli F-15s take off. 9:40 a.m. They launched 30 Blue Sparrow missiles. Blue Sparrows are insane. They exited.
They are totally insane.
By insane, he means like every other ballistic missile on the planet.
No, they exit the atmosphere, separate from boosters, re-enter at hypersonic speed. Oh God, I hate this.
I mean, that's literally how every ballistic missile in the world works.
I think these are carried. Aren't these carried by F-15Is?
Yeah.
So you strap one of these things under an F-15I, and it takes it up to 45,000 feet or whatever its ceiling is,
and lobs it.
And so it's an exo-atmospheric weapon. It's pretty damn cool, Joe. Come on.
Then pitch
up. But I mean, we've had something similar for a very long time.
Yeah, but it's still cool. I like it.
This guy makes everything like to the nth degree. He's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So during the strike, IDF simultaneously disrupted a dozen cell towers near the palace. Phones appeared busy when called. Khomeini's security couldn't get warnings out. But the real operation was years in the making. Israel hacked most of Tehran's surveillance cameras. I heard about this part. The same ones Iran used to spy on its own people, tracked bodyguards' movements, work schedules, where they parked at Khomeini's compound. We knew Tehran like we know Jerusalem, one Israeli intelligence officer said. When you know a place that well, you notice a single thing out of place. CIA had a human resource, or had a human resource. Israeli AI analyzed mountains of data. Together, they pinpointed exactly where Khomeini would be. The strike killed Khomeini, his wife, daughter, grandchild, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, rear admiral, IRGC commander, Popcore, one compound, one meeting, everyone gone. Multi-year intelligence operation. Yeah. But Joe's right. This is they're cool. Not every weapon does this, but yeah, we've been doing this since the 60s.
Yeah, it's just I guess the first time it's been used in combat, but I mean, it's not that crazy. But again, this story, I realize it's not actually from Mario; it's from the Daily Mail. But that's how literally intelligence works, right? I'm sure we had more than one human source in Iran.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah. Israelis had hundreds of them, and we didn't really do anything all that unusual as how you conduct war. Just because we surprised the Iranians, newsflash, they're not that hard to surprise because they're not as good at the intelligence game as we are. So,
facts. Let's see. This next is just a little moto video. It says U.S. combat power is building as Iranian combat power declines. Good secondaries on that one. Ooh.
Yeah, the fuel goes, it goes. So I'm wondering when we're going to open a base called Desert 2 out in the middle of eastern Iran, and start letting helicopters go roam.
It's a good question. I would have said, Gal, we do that from Gal. What is it? My brain is not clicking. What's the much closer base? The one in Kuwait.
Oh, is it Al Udeid?
Al Udeid, yeah, but we'd have to. I mean,
that's not close enough. So if you're going to have helicopters and stuff running around, you're going to need inside the country support, or at least you're going to have to pull the Gator Navy up into Bandar Abbas. That may happen at some point. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but
that is what I was thinking.
Something's going to happen. They might even let the Marines do something, which would be interesting, Joe. What do you think?
While Joe finishes his thought, I will say that could have something to do with all the amphibious ships we've heard reports of loading throughout the nation.
Yeah. Nobody better.
What do you think, Joe? Marines going to get some?
I'm sorry, about what?
It's all right. We were just talking about what we might have to do to be able to get helicopter forces and that kind of stuff in, and we said that the only real options there are to either set up a new base in Iraq again, out in the middle of the desert, or
we don't need a new one. We have one in Erbil that would reach there with no problem.
Okay, or clean out the all the small boat navy that they've got in there, and then pull the ships up in close enough that you could operate off the ships.
Well, we can already operate helicopters across the entire Gulf out of Bahrain, or off of an expeditionary sea base. So that's probably where your helicopters will come from. The reason why an expeditionary sea base carries a marine attack helicopter squadron is exactly that: small boats. So that's probably how that would work. Like right now, you could slide it up just south of the Strait of Hormuz and then fly overland and around it. and start hitting those Iranian boats. So,
when's that going to start, Joe?
I'd probably give that another week. We're continuing to reduce targets. We want to continue to smash everything at Bandar Abbas first, because that actually has some pretty good air defenses that reach out across the entire strait. So another few days of smashing all of Iran's erector sets and toys there, then maybe we'll start seeing some helicopter operations up and down the strait.
It's going to be interesting to see how we go into the country. At some point, I think they're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the dicey part.
Boy, Scott picked an interesting one for the next one. I like this. So the original tweet says Iran built the most comprehensive civilian surveillance network in the Middle East, cameras on every street corner, facial recognition at universities, license plate readers that automatically find people. Israeli hacked nearly all of it. According to the Financial Times, citing two people familiar with the matter, nearly all of Tehran's traffic cameras have been compromised. So this person says, very, very few people understand the implications of the Israeli hacking combination, combined with its deep penetration of Iran's regime, means for the U.S.-Israeli campaign to exterminate the mullah's regime security forces. Let's talk about Gorgon Stare and post-GWAT smart bombs. Gorgon Stare and its peer systems like Argus, Vigilant Stare, Constant Hawk, and Agile Condor are wide area aerial surveillance systems, all seeing eyes in the sky. They are increasingly sophisticated mergers of multi-spectrum cameras, computer databases, and more, recently AI. Wide area aerial surveillance systems have had a rocky and politically charged history, but the data fusion technology has gotten to the point that more and more cameras can be networked together over larger areas with the data saved for analytics or for later
This
analysis.
is why you should be opposed to flock cameras. Anyhow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe any of this shit. I want them to give me the ring camera on the mullah's house when the Israelis took him out with the exo-atmospheric weapons. That's what I want. I want the ring footage.
Right.
Well, so here's basically what he's saying, right? Is that we, the U.S., can identify you as a target. We can fly a bunch of drones over that are getting constant surveillance of an entire city, and multiple different surveillance cameras that are there can then ping you through facial recognition, and then aerial surveillance assets that are flying like at 100,000 feet meters above deck can then ping which pixel is you, and then can track that pixel around the city until there's a good chance to strike you. This is why you've been seeing so many lower civilian casualties, by the way. Compare this type of targeting to the type of targeting that we had in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Shock and awe.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say when you have this kind of capability, you hit a lot less. Oh, what was the guy that we ended up hitting when we were leaving? Aid workers and their 12 children and that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah, which is good. It's a good thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting capabilities to be aware of. Got to find a way to deal with that locally, domestically. That's for damn sure. Next we have Iran's Islamic regime officials are threatening to kill Iranian children who show even slight opposition. A member of the National Security and Foreign Policy Commission for Iran's Islamic Consultative Assembly stated that death sentences will be issued for anyone who does not obey them. If your child speak in support of the enemy, the order to shoot them has already been given. He added that any young person who is even slightly pro-U.S. or pro-Israeli is treated like Netanyahu. We'll shoot them without hesitation. We do not want to kill your youth, but we must because they are ignorant.
Our kids are dumb, so we got to kill them all.
No, but I'll tell you what. When you see these guys, you see these like hounds of the mullah waving those fingers.
Yeah,
they're twisted, man. I'm sorry. There's just something wrong with this sect of Shiism that is pretty damn ugly.
Yeah,
We will kill your children. Oh, righteous.
Yeah, this is this is one of the many reasons why there's a lot of people who've been saying a lot of things about Iraq War II and all kinds of stuff, and proving that they knew nothing either about Iraq or Iran. But this is one of the many reasons that I say no, we can hate Iran all on our own. We don't need any Jews to try and force us into doing that.
Yeah, the ability. There's no need to manipulate public opinion when you just get people to listen to what this group says, right? And you have to remember that the 12ers are end of timers, right? They're waiting for the end of time. So I mean,
they're literally hoping to rush on an apocalypse.
Yeah, and that's a problem when they run a country like Iran. But it explains so much as you begin to peel the onion back, right?
That's why when everyone tells me, "Oh, they're waiting, they got a nuclear weapon and they're waiting to use it," and listen, if Iran ever possessed a nuclear weapon, Tel Aviv would be a glowing hole in the ground right now because they're 12ers. So
yeah. The difficulty is that the fissile material is by itself a weapon. And I just hope nobody gets the dirty bomb movement going in the Middle East. And I'm going to guess that the Israelis and the U.S., if there's something the intelligence assets are focused on, it's going to be watching for that outcome, because that's a bad outcome in any circumstance. You got to track that yellow cake. You got to track the plutonium. And people say they don't have plutonium. I'm going to almost guarantee you they have some.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've seen their enrichment schedule.
Yeah, and the relationships with the North Koreans. So this is bad juju that's gone on there. So I hope they're able to track all that stuff. They think they buried most of the yellow cake in the mountains, but supposedly they've been digging out one of the tunnel heads. And let's hope they haven't gotten back into their stash.
I want to address a terrible, terrible comment by Squishy Hunter in the Apocalypse, because he's sharing fake news that is being spread by Mark Sibley. Ain't no tacos in the apocalypse. My brother in Christ, you need to learn about MRE tacos. There is beef taco filling, there are chipotle tortillas, and there is jalapeno cheese. You can make tacos in the apocalypse. Let's not be all doomed. There will be tacos.
Yeah, but Sibley's living the apocalypse. He's in Northern Virginia. Right. So the apocalypse has already fallen on the cul-de-sac where Sibley lives, right?
Yes.
I just want to point out before we move on that they had to make the chipotle tortillas because they used to make the regular tortillas and everybody fucking hated them. So next, NC Scout with one that you guys have been bothering us to cover. And apparently also bothering him to cover. Open my DMs and saw a bunch of you asking about this, so buckle up. Number stations. What you're seeing and hearing is a number station, which is one-way forward messaging encrypted via a one-time pad. I explain this, or what this is and how to do it, in the Guerrilla's Guide to the Battlefield Radio and the Guerrilla Dispatch series. What are they saying? Well, you're never going to know. It's been transmitted on HF, so it can be heard worldwide. It's been the same message repeatedly, which is not unusual for clandestine assets if they've missed their comma window and it's of critical importance. You could infer that it is a go signal for the much alluded to sleeper cells. Maybe it's telling them to close up shop. Time will tell. Stay frosty. Let's.
So here's the thing. I've seen a bunch of analysis about this. Go ahead and play it.
Just repeats.
So he's literally just saying numbers, all that stuff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people put out videos saying we've translated this and whatever. Yeah, that's literally, or we've decoded this. That's literally not possible. If they use a one-time pad, it is technically unbreakable, and even if it was broken, it wouldn't be that quick. So it is not going to happen. But it is definitely a message. It did definitely originate in Iran, and you will never know who it was going to. And it gets out there. there's a lot of people who wanted to argue about that and say, and even in our chat, there are people saying voice, that's old school. The United States Air Force runs voice number station 24/7, and we listen to it all the time. It's called the EAM channel, and we still do it to this day. So if the U.S. Air Force, arguably the most technologically advanced military force in the world, does it, then it's not old school, right? It is the one thing that will survive the apocalypse will be HF radio, and number of stations are going to be out there. It happens all of the time. And yes, this coded message came out just before the attack in Texas. Yes.
So, and I want to point out that there are at least 18 currently known active number stations. Those are the ones that constantly broadcast. That does not include the ones that are set up to just pop up and broadcast when they're needed.
And famously, one of the well-known Russian ones sent out a message just prior to the invasion of Ukraine. So
yeah, the buzzer. And and if we want to talk about that as well, they've been playing with the buzzer a lot lately. They've started sending visually encoded images through the buzzer's audio wave signal and all kinds of other fun stuff. So breaking: Azerbaijan is withdrawing its diplomats from Iran, closing its embassy in Tehran, and raising military readiness amid escalating tensions with Iran, according to Azerbaijani foreign minister. Okay. Whoa, hold on there.
that is
an interesting piece of machinery.
Artillery piece.
Is that the Korean one?
It's ugly enough.
I have been reliably told not to comment on that possibility.
I hear people are enjoying them who've received them, and they ship on time, unlike some other nations I might happen to be a part of.
Squishy Hunter nails it. They did actually break that code, and it says drink your Ovaltine. If you get that reference,
drink rich chocolatey Ovaltine. Well, our next video shows American armored vehicles rolling towards the Iranian border through Iraqi Kurdistan. So might be happening a little sooner than we thought, eh?
Yeah.
The civil affairs guys. There they go.
Right.
You know, maybe we're just dropping something off for the Kurds to ride around in. You know?
Yep. Well, we deserve to do a straight for the Kurds.
I mean, facts. If anybody could use some armored vehicles, it'd be the Kurds.
Yeah, we need to do some straight for the Kurds.
Yeah.
Also, that'll teach Turkey for not helping out.
Well, I just want to point out, watching the Azeris get all agitated. The Turks and the Azeris are the only group I know whose security teams get in fist fights in DC, right?
Yeah, right.
So Aliyev's guys got into it a couple weeks ago. The Turks have been in it. I mean, but you get the principal that runs across the street and pops a guy in the head, and it's like, and then the brawl's on, right?
Oh yeah, that was the fight with the Gulen supporters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too funny to watch, man.
Yeah.
Our good friend Blaine points out in the chat, what, a guy can't take his armored vehicles for a walk anymore?
So every time anyone sees a vehicle of U.S. origin anywhere in the world, like, oh my God, the Americans are invading. Listen, we sell this stuff all over the world, and the lack of unit markings on them tells me these are for sale.
No, but so those are up armored Humvees, man. Those came out of the parking lot around Bagram, right?
Probably
entirely possible.
Yeah, I'd say they're fungible. They're moving all over the place.
Could have too. So.
So let's see. The next one says, while the Kurds are attacking from Iran from west, Pakistan army is deploying an additional 30,000 soldiers along the border with Iran. Large numbers of arms and ammunition are being moved by Pakistan. Is Pakistan going to do something from the east?
Absolutely.
Well, Pakistan sees an opportunity to broaden their horizons just a bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I was them, I'd grab that port just across the border.
Somebody commented, I thought it was pretty good, that watch us take down Iran, and then suddenly Pakistan has an Islamic revolution, and we find out that there will always be exactly one Iran in the world at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. The Pakis are pretty interesting. The army doesn't take kindly to radicalism, so I think there would be a hell of a fight if that was attempted.
I don't know why Pakistan would need an Islamic revolution, because it's already an Islamic state.
Yeah. He's talking radical. I don't see that happening. I don't see the ISI allowing that. They've got a good gig going.
Let's see. The IDF has begun an additional wave of strikes in Beirut. The Israeli Air Force has begun a new wave of airstrikes against Hezbollah infrastructure in Beirut's southern suburbs. The IDF announced this would have been probably right after the 24-hour warning that they gave to everybody living in that area to get the fuck out.
Yeah, and the Lebanese probably initiated this. They're like, hey, we'd really like to launch some airstrikes on these people, but we have zero operable aircraft.
I was going to say, but our only operable aircraft is a crop duster. So
yeah, we got 3 Texians, and that's about it. So can we hit this thing? So, or Tucanos, Super Tucanos. So
yeah, I'm surprised Lebanon has been so bad for so long. It's amazing how bad it's been.
Yeah, it's like they just found out you can just do things. You're a nation state.
Yeah, I can't imagine the money flows. You see what happens is when the money flow stops, all this shit breaks down, right? So the Iranian money flow stops, and all of a sudden Lebanon comes out and says, "Wait a minute, we're a country." It's like, yeah.
Hey, we actually have an army.
Yeah, well, the Israelis are going to have to go in. I think the Israelis are going to go in and decimate every asset owned by Hezbollah. They've made that pretty clear.
Speaking of
it's over.
Well, speaking of which, in the government partnerships, breaking, apparently, Lebanon has just banned all IRGC activity and vowed to arrest any guard member in the country. Well, look who just grew up here.
Let me ask you this, though. Why didn't they do this 10 years ago?
Exactly. That was literally my thought.
That's because the money was flowing.
For the Lebanese government, Iranian agents have been the bane of their existence, right? Since about
they made money.
1958.
But they made money, right? I mean, so all the money Obama had given them, that money all flowed into destabilizing places like Lebanon.
Yep.
Ooh. So apparently, displaced with nowhere to go, around 400,000 Hezbollah supporters are now wandering the streets of Beirut, begging people to take them in, but nobody wants them. Imagine that.
Yeah. You just tell them to keep walking till the Syrian frontier, and there's plenty of open space.
Oh, damn it. I wish I knew this was coming. I could have reworked the meme. Keep walking, Arab. This is a normie neighborhood.
It's going to be terrible. It's a terrible displacement of people, but Hezbollah is just toxic. They got to get it out of the southern. They've got to unearth all of the garbage that they buried in southern Lebanon.
Yeah, 100%, Jim. I was just going to say that, as I've been saying for a long time, we need to be very careful about trying to tell people that they're not allowed to, for their own safety, decide who gets to live next to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a guy who's got a bunch of Katyushas in his basement, and you don't want him hitting you too, or being killed by the Hezbollah hit teams. It's been a really bad time in Lebanon. Put it that way.
Popcorn Power asks, who is that walking? I referenced that last video. Hezbollah, Palestinians? The answer is yes.
All of the above.
They're the same thing.
And then our final video that I'll show while we kind of talk is that the Lebanese army apparently seized a Hezbollah rocket launcher. Which I have to say, probably not hard. I assume this was just sitting in someone's driveway.
I just wonder what the United Nations forces in in South Lebanon are doing right now.
Well, we already said they got forced to surrender. Sorry. Oh, okay. You
They need to go home. I mean,
they're hunkering down in their bunkers.
Well, I'm sorry. My point is that is Hezbollah. That's who the UN is. That's what that is. That's.
I just don't understand. They can't fund their missions, and they still got these guys sitting on the border in Lebanon. Just get them out of the way. Let the Lebanese come in and backfill.
Well, I think the most recent thing I've heard about them at all was that Israel accidentally, with air quotes around it, struck one of their observation posts.
Oh boy, you know what? I agree with Blaine. The UN's still a thing.
Exactly. I know that they're not going to get funded, and that whole program is going to come apart. So it's going to be interesting to watch politically. I like the Lebanese. I'm hoping that getting rid of Hezbollah in the south will actually finally happen, and the country will come back a bit.
The worst part is how do all of those observers get back to their host countries when no one's flying in there? So,
well, they have their own little white airplanes. They can get a white C-130 and go pick them up. You know, if there was some will, if somebody had some chutzpah, they could actually say, "This is superfluous. Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
Well, folks, that's it. That's all we have for you. Predictions for this weekend, Joe.
Well, I think you'll see some leftist agitation in the U.S. They're going to use redistricting, since we had elections this week all over, as their main cause, along with anti-Iran war rhetoric. So I would watch for that, and I would watch for some lone wolf attacks to begin or expand. I guess they've already happened, but to expand in response to what the most likely content of that number station message was.
Fair. I'm looking for that myself. Jim?
You know, I'm just wondering how much the kidnappers are going to want for Scott, and and I think we need to think long and hard about whether we would pay for them to return Scott. I
have it off. I have a demand here for a couple million. I countered with a pair of tube socks and a sack of oranges. So.
And a taco meat MRE. Yeah. Now that we know the value of the post-apocalyptic taco meat MRE, I think we're going to have that. I think you're going to see some reconciliation in the oil industry.
Hey, there he is.
We're going to see some reconciliation in the oil industry.
There he is.
A taco meat MRE.
Did you pay the kidnappers?
I thought I was better. I thought I was worth at least like a pair of Argyle
yelling.
socks.
He doesn't have his mic on.
So to answer Jim's question, they actually did send me a ransom request for a case of pink Monster, 2 Red Bulls, and some soju, and so I sent it, and Scott is back.
There we go.
Oh my God! Let me just say that if people would do their jobs, Scott wouldn't have to leave in the middle of the night.
Well,
yeah, it just turned 1 a.m. here, so that just kind of gives you an idea of.
Anybody got audio for him? Because I don't.
Oh, I do. Yeah, the number of DMs I got, Scott, asking if the MPs were.
All right, but no. Hey, so you guys are killing. I was listening to you in the car all the way. So, hey, one of the things that Joe, I found something that it would explain potentially why some of these nobody's answering the calls on these number stations. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I found this
calls ever over a number station. That's the entire point of it.
But you know what I mean, like actually doing the thing that the number station wants them to do. Let's see. Hold on a second.
But I think somebody did.
No, this is. I just want to see if I can find this. I thought this was kind of both laughable and eye rolling at the same time.
I'll point out while he's pulling that up that for those of you who partake, that means my monster supply has been depleted, paying Scott's ransom, and
I did hear that we got a $20 super chat for a Happy Meal, so maybe we can donate that to re-up your monster supply. What does that pay for 3 monsters now in the U.S.?
About 4, a 4-pack, yeah.
Well, anyway, so these were 2 people talking about they talk about the sleeper cells, the Iranian sleeper cells. They said the problem is that there is a reason why these sleeper cells are not answering the call in the numbers they expected. And that is because evidently they found the big booty Latinas. And they're like, wait a second, why would I want to leave this place? Why would I want to kill any of these people? And why would I want to die when I can live here? Thanks, no thanks. I'm taking your money, and I'm gonna become an American. Either that, or they found themselves one of these Iranian. They found one of these Iranian baddies. Maybe, I don't know.
Could be. Allah demands you martyr yourself. Okay, yeah, but have you tried pork ribs?
It's like, sorry, best I can do is an eye roll and you see the Pawn Stars meme, like, sorry, best I can do.
That's true. Yeah, they're looking at the text from the mullah in one hand and their Costco membership in the other and going,
yeah, I'm just going to pretend I didn't get this one. Maybe it's a mistake. Yes. Anyway, yeah. No, you guys did awesome. You covered everything. As far as I think Joe's on the money, I think you're going to see some disruption in the States. I bet there are a lot of people who are expecting some people to do things in the U.S. that they won't do, and I think it will happen for various reasons. I think the radicals, for the most part, have been rolled up by the FBI because they're too fucking stupid. But I think there are a lot of people out there who are better at their job and are going to decide that they just want to live and let live.
Hey, listen, you should have a one-time pad generator machine so you can make your own number station messages between each other. I've got one right in this cabinet next to me. And in light of the potential for this weekend, if you don't make this sound before you leave the house, you're wrong. So
yeah. You can constitutional carry it in most states now. So if you're not doing that, you're leaving your security and other people.
Actually, you can constitutional carry in all 50 states if you're not a little.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna say that. I'm not gonna advocate for anybody to do anything that potentially could be breaking the law, but
we would never do that.
Oh my God. Anyway, so
make your own decisions, make smart decisions. But if you do constitutional carry in a state that doesn't have it on the books, by the way, it is on the books of your state because it's part of the U.S., just for the record. But by the time they find out that you were carrying, you will have just saved dozens of lives. So weigh that in there, right? That's going to go to your defense.
And if it's concealed,
a bunch of people, but gosh darn it, he shouldn't have. He should have let those people all die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if it's concealed, they're probably not going to see it if nothing happens anyway. So what do you lose?
Right.
What are
you worried about? Yeah.
So one last interesting thing before we go, I just saw this. So apparently, the entire point by point reasoning of what went down between the Pentagon and Anthropic just got released, and essentially what happened is that Palantir was acting as the primary AI contractor, and after the Maduro raid, Anthropic called Palantir and asked if their software was used in the raid, stating that that's not okay and we're not comfortable with that, and that kicked off a firestorm inside the Department of War, saying, what are you talking about? And then what if the software happened to go down in the middle of us trying to use it? Yeah, big deal.
So what? They sold them some nefarious software for spy tracking people, and then got mad when somebody used it to spy on and track people.
Correct. Yes.
Oh no! I'm
Well-
going to cry any tears over Anthropic for that.
Well, they bagged a socialist, and that makes all the people at Anthropic feel very funny inside.
Yeah, right. It's like, wait a second. Those are the people we want to help these
Why
people.
don't you just spy on those evil right wingers?
Yeah. Yeah. So the irony is that Palantir can use pretty much any of the frontier model APIs, but it's kind of well thought. Anthropic has one of the better models, so that's probably the reason why they use it, but not no mo.
Yeah. Sly Dante nails it. If you're in Massachusetts, just have some drugs on you and they'll drop the gun charge. Tell them you identify as an independent pharmaceutical salesman I'm sorry, not as a undocumented one, and you'll be fine.
That's right.
Or an undocumented concealed carry license holder. I'm an undocumented FCC radio operator.
I'm sorry, this is too good. We can't not. Mr. Oppenheimer, your Jap Melter Megalodon 3000 has been used in an unfortunate way.
What?
That's good.
Oh. Well, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I think so, guys. I appreciate you picking up. I appreciate Jim. He had to take off. Joe, you're killing it as always. Watcher, thank you. Chat, you never disappoint. Let me just say, I appreciate you more than you know. Did you guys see? Did you get this one?
Oh no, we didn't.
I was just I was just in the middle of my fee, Scott. Dollars. Thank you,
appreciate it, bud.
Let's
Glad to
see.
see you're
Actually,
still doing well. And then it looks like there's another one we missed here.
Yep.
If this keeps up, Iran's borders are going to shrink.
I think Iran's borders are going to melt away, and we're going to see a whole bunch of other countries.
Well, so that's just it, right? I think that you may see the only independent country I think that potentially could pop out of this most likely would be Kurdistan, but Turkey will never let that happen. Turkey will literally invade them the day after.
Baluchistan.
Persia.
I think Pakistan would invade them. If anything, Pakistan might.
Somebody said that Pakistan is looking to liberate the Baluchis. I'm like, no, they're not. They do not want that to happen.
If anything, they're looking to eliminate their safe havens, is what they're looking to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, gents, New Persia.
Well, and Jim said it when you guys were talking about it. That port right there across the border is looking mighty unoccupied. Maybe to go in and help them run that.
Yeah.
So I think you could see a lot of the Azeris have claimed that province right across the border inside Iran from Azerbaijan. So I think you could I think that would be a shame if it happens, but the most likely thing is not to see independent countries, in my opinion. It's that you'll see these other countries around try to gobble them up. So we'll see. I think the Kurds, I think the Iranian Kurds are not going to want independence. I think they're going to want to hug as close as they can to the new Iranian government in order to protect themselves from the Turks. All right, gentlemen, that's all I got. Anything else, Joe, Watcher?
That's it.
Well,
did we? Oh, wait a second. Did we get this? Did we get this one? It seems like the weak points of BRICS are showing.
I guess not, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Brazil. Yeah, Russia's still going strong. Iran. I mean, maybe not in the near future. China, well, China could use a little more gas apparently. And South Africa, well, South Africa has been a fucking nightmare forever. So they will only. Let's see. Did you get this one? Trump's moves remind me of Justinian's reconquest. Yeah, I saw this actually before we left. I just hadn't got a chance to read it. So I think that's all the super chats, unless there was something in Rumble that I missed. Biggin, yeah, you got that one. Biggin, is that 2?
Oh,
yeah, Biggin did 2. You evidently you did 2. Biggin $5.99. It's been a while since my last donation, so I have a happy meal on me. So that's 2 separate ones, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, because the other one was 20.
No, they're both 20. Wait a second. Is my chat?
He might have done.
I think no. My chat for whatever reason is repeating, and I don't know why, but because Squishy Hunter was the same comment on both of them too. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thank you very much for being here. We will be back as always on Monday. Gentlemen, stand by after the show. I got to tell you about my schedule. We will be back on Monday. Thank you very much. As always, if you haven't done it already, please like the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We will likely see you soon. Until then, stay safe.